The person accused of fatally shooting New Orleans comedian Brandon Boogie B Montrell had his first appearance in magistrate court.
As Andres Fuentes reports, Montrell's mother, though, says she wasn't given advance notice of this hearing.
It's been more than 3 months since Brandon Boogie B Montrell was shot and killed days before Christmas while parked in a grocery store in the Central Business District. Police have arrested 20-year-old Jabril Cowart in Houston in connection to his death. And Montrell's mother, Sherilyn Price, says the tears haven't stopped.
Because of all of the crying, I've now gotten what looks like permanent swollen eyes now. It still catches in the back of my throat when I say the words, the death of Brandon.
Price says Montrell was shot down while his comedy career was in full swing in Los Angeles. Now she mourns for who was her last living child.
Brandon was supposed to take care of us when we got older. I didn't get to see him get married. I didn't get to see him become an older man. I didn't get to see him achieve the stardom, the fame, the success that he was trying to achieve.
And while she grieves, she's upset with the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office for not letting her know when Cowart was being extradited back to the city and when his bond hearing was scheduled on Thursday. She says a friend who happened to look at the court docket that day only found out about the hearing 30 minutes beforehand. Price didn't have enough time to drive from Slidell to get to court and says a lack of prior notification from the DA's office is in violation of her victim's rights.
It's dehumanizing, it's offensive. It feels like a continuation of your victimization.
It's been codified that victims have rights to do things like a victim impact statement at a sentencing hearing and things like that. And ideally, the district attorney's office wants to contact them and has liaison with the victims and the victim's family, but it doesn't always work out. There are other things going on, and it's unfortunate, but sometimes things just don't work out and communications doesn't happen.
Now, because of the communication issues that Ms. Price has been having with the DA's office, she's thrown her support for House Bill 321. It's going to be introduced this legislative session and essentially will create a database for crime victims' families so that they can stay in the loop with their proceedings via email or text message.
It's a real first step in giving victims some comfort and some information and helping them navigate the justice that they seek.
She hopes the legislation would help with families dealing with criminal cases across the board.
If I can't get justice, what chance do they have? If I can't get information, if this is what it takes for me to get information, what chance do they have?
Now, a spokesperson from the DA's office tells me that they were only notified of Cowart's court appearance a few hours before it was set to start. And as soon as that happened, an assistant district attorney tried reaching out to Ms. Price. In a statement, they said, quote, "We certainly understand the anger and grief Ms. Price is enduring, waiting for justice to be served. And she can rest assured that our dedicated team of prosecutors are working hard to see justice through for her and her countless other and the countless other victims in the city." Back to you, Liz.